So one of the fondest memories is just you being on the vanity, cutting up onions and guac, and avocado and everything, making your guacamole with your chips to watch the wars, right? And it was just always so funny to me that like your prep station and getting ready for really your Super Bowl.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Young Black Misses. I'm your host, Morgane F., and today we're wrapping up our series on friendship with a conversation about long-distance friends with my college roommate, Sarah. We chat about how we were those years, probably 10, 15 years ago, those women we were, who we are now as working moms, and in long-term partnerships. So you're really just sneaking in on a conversation between me and my girl, so stay tuned for that. But let's roll into a few segments.
Shaking my curl, I'm shaking my curl, I'm shaking my curl, shaking my curl, I'm shaking my curl, I'm shaking my curl, I'm shaking my curl.
Shaking my curls. So, and they're popping today a little bit. I got little fringes going on today if you're watching me on the Yuba the Tube. Shaking my curls today. So, the biggest thing I want to shake my curls on is, why are people in such a rush? What are you rushing to do? Two quick anecdotal stories. I was at the grocery store and I was at the self-checkout. And there was a gentleman and his partner that were at this checkout station next. And the guy was like, I'm faster than this machine. And then just leaves. And then the receipt prints off. I'm like, who is in that much of a haste that you can't wait for the receipt to print off? It's whatever you got to do. It's not that deep for 3 more seconds to get the receipt. It's just not. And joke's on you, dude, because there was a 5 off 15 on the produce. And what else do you come into that grocery store, Sprouts, but to get the produce? So I took it. Second case, and this might just be because I don't like, okay, yeah, you can write on red in here where I live, but like, I don't have to. I have this one place where I can make a right on red, like before I drive into my neighborhood. I promise you I'm gonna wait for this green light because I'm not in a hurry. I might be having a conversation and I know it'll wrap up here shortly. Or what is the rush? I might have to scratch my head, reapply my lip gloss, put an eye drop in while I'm at this light. Baby, I am in no hurry to get to or from wherever I got to go. Even if I'm on the clock, I'm still not turning no right on red for you. And it cracks me up. People will honk at me in that position. And if you honk at me, I promise you that's not going to make me go any faster. Now, if you honk at me and the light is green and I miss it, okay, you got me. But if the light is red, just because ain't nobody coming, don't mean I'm going to have to turn right. I'm not. There's a turn where there's a left turn. And I like to wait for perfect traffic before I go. So if I see a car like close enough where I see it, I'm like, oh, I'll just let them pass and I'll go. Whatever. I'll just wait for perfect traffic. It's fine. I'm in no rush. Okay? Like, slow down. So the car behind me, when I was going to make the left turn, cuts back behind me as I'm inserting a bobby pin into my bun. And I'm like, well, I hope you get where you're going. Happened to be my neighbor, a couple of, several houses up. So I probably never seen them. But I was like, oh my God, that's that car. Like, dude, what was they in such a hurry for? It's never that deep. It's just not. It's never that deep. Anyway, so I am shaking. Oh my God, I'm shaking my bangs. I'm shaking my curls at that. Like, it's never that deep. I promise you, it's never that deep. Take your time. Slow down. Enjoy life. Like, seriously, enjoy life. On to the next segment. Hello, and welcome to another main event. I have a special guest with me. Sarah, say hello.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Girl, I'm trying to figure out where to put my mic down. Let me just do this. Now, what does your shirt say? I'd rather
I'd rather serve than socialize. The 22. A little bit of
Facts.
a sorority joke.
I figured this much. I figured this much. We can get into that if we want to. I know that wasn't on my talking points, but we'll flow how we flow. Well, just
Yep.
for give the listeners a background about who you are, Miss Sarah, what you do, and then I'll talk about our relationship.
Yeah, yeah. So, Sarah, wow. Who am I? That's so crazy because you always have your what you would say in at work, and then like
Right.
who you are as a person, right? So yeah, just I'm 37. Went to graduate from Wilberforce University with a accounting degree. Started working for a company. Been with the same company for 11 years. Working
God.
recruiting right now. I love it. Love what I do. I'm also a proud member of Del Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Came through Beta chapter. I have a daughter that's 5. Oh my gosh, she's in preschool, so she's a late 5, but she is loving it. And we're almost done with our preschool year. 2 weeks left. Yeah, and I have a little dog named Draco. I say little, but he's 96 pounds, so he's a big
That's
boy.
not little.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, and I do a ton of travel, a lot of travel, and I enjoy that too. That's a little about
Travel
me.
for fun or for work?
Mostly work, but I try to
Okay.
sprinkle in some fun too.
I feel it. Okay, well, Sarah, here's the major question. Wow, you said you've been at the job for 11 years. So how long you think we've been friends?
Wow, wow,
Because I'm
probably
trying to think of,
since yeah, I got to school in 2009, so I would say we met the same year. Met
that's,
my freshman year. Yeah, so
yeah,
2009 somewhere. Yep. I was roommates. I was in LLC but downstairs with Alicia at that time. And then
right. That's the name of
probably
the
and then the
dorm,
second
LLC.
semester of freshman year is when we became roommates. So really
Wow.
January of 2010, but we knew each other before then.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm trying to think, when did I meet? Like, what? Because
We
what was
met
my
through I
first?
feel like we met through
I think it
Sherry.
was Sarah.
I think
Yes,
we met
you're
through Sherry.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I feel,
Mhm.
yeah, you're right. You're right. We did because I
Mhm.
remember I could if I put back my little, goggles and I go back in time. She was on the Sharon is a good friend of us. I saw her in New York not that like a
No
year ago.
way. Yeah.
And yeah, and I was trying to she was like, "You want to go get a drink?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm pregnant," but no. In my mind, I wasn't telling nobody. But I remember sitting in front of the union on them
Mhm.
I guess there's little steps or something, a little thing you
Mhm.
pop up on, and then we were sitting there and then you were like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, this is my friend Sarah." Or maybe my
Mhm.
roommate at the time, Sarah.
Yeah,
And I
we were
think
suite
that's how
mates.
we
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
sweet maids. Oh my
Yep. So
gosh.
me and Alicia were roommates, and then me and Sherry were suite mates. Yep.
Oh
And yeah,
boy.
she introduced me to you. Yeah. And I remember our first hangout. I remember we went to the mall, but I don't remember like what we were. I just remember us pulling into the mall parking lot and like going to the mall, but I don't remember anything else about that time. But yeah, I felt like that was the first time we really like hung out. Hung out.
Yeah, because I wanted to get off the yard really bad. And you didn't have
Yep.
your car at that time, right? So we was just
Oh
taking
no, I
the
came to school in my car.
you did
Yeah.
have
Mm-hmm.
so did you ride
Yeah.
on do you think you rode on the van?
No, I think I drove. I think I drove us. I feel like I drove us. I'm used to riding the van sometimes. It kind of just depended if people are doing stuff. I'll ride in the van. But yeah, I brought a car to college.
This is how long we've been friends. We're like, girl, I don't
Yeah.
really remember. But I'm trying to think like I'm just gonna say at least now we're looking at 20 almost. We're at least
Yeah.
15, right?
At
Like at
least
least
15. Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Ooh, wee. And you still love me, and I still love you. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes. It's
So
wild. It's wild. It's a long time.
And I'm sure it was superficial back then, but do you remember anything
hmm
like about like, oh yeah, this girl is cool. Let me be like, what was interesting?
Yeah, I think I like that. So it's so funny. I think we connect on like Issa Rae's awkward black girl kind of, but I think that's really how we connected too. I think both of us had like awkwardness about us that was a little
Hmm.
quirky, right, but fun. And I think
Yeah,
that's really what connected us. And then music connected us. So I think the two things that
absolutely.
really connected us were music, and then the fact that we were both a little quirky, and and we were comfortable with that, right?
I, and also I'm sitting here thinking, I to my knowledge, you grew up in a two-parent home and
Mm-hmm.
so I
Yep.
also think, I'm not saying that that's uncommon amongst black folks our age, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as common as it is maybe now, or just maybe I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. So that was something that I think, and I feel like you might have grown up in kind of like a suburban area too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all those things, I'm like, oh, she sounds like somebody I went to school with, right?
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so
I actually grew up in
that's
the hood, but people always told me, which is not even socially acceptable to say these days, but growing up, they always told me I talked white. and I hated that, right? And now, I think that us being a lot more awoke and understanding the negative connotations to even saying that about us, right?
Yeah.
Saying that if you're proper speaking, that you sound like that. But yeah, actually grew up in the hood, but my parents were really proper, and I was homeschooled for a long time, and then I went to school. But yeah, I think that's just how I am, who I am. So yeah.
Okay. Well, see, that kind of tracks because it was
Hmm.
something about that where I kind of felt like you sounded like me when
Yeah.
everyone else kind of, had an
Hmm.
accent to me and I sounded regular. So I
Yeah.
agree. Everything you said duplicated. But I think like what you were saying about the music, because before we got on here, y'all,
Hmm.
we was kikiing about Beyonce and we're gonna have to
Hmm.
tap into that.
Yes.
But it's so interesting. I'm learning as we make friends in adolescence or really
Hmm.
young. It's the simplest things. Like I
Yes.
can't remember if you like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. I think you like NSYNC.
I mean, both of
Oh,
them, but yeah.
okay, but anyways, but it
Yeah.
was just as simple as, oh, you like this band or you like this certain
Hmm.
music, I'm your friend immediately. And that's all it takes. But then as
Yeah.
adults, it's like it's gonna take a little bit
It's
more,
some, yeah.
especially when you're not in the same state and you're not in the
Hmm.
same zip code. Like, we're an
Yeah.
hour
Not the same
apart.
time zone,
Right. Or I'm
right?
sorry, time zone. Sorry, zip code.
Hmm.
That part too. But yeah, time zone and
Hmm.
it's more commitment now, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it looks different, right? I think before we had kids and spouses and things like that, right? You had a lot more time to dedicate to friendships, and now friendships look a little different, but still extremely significant. Just the way that we maneuver it, right, with understanding and grace of each other's, like everything each other has going on, but always still touching base on how you doing, anything going on your way, or special occasions, making sure you acknowledge that, checking in on each other and just making sure you're good. I think that's how friendships evolve through the years, right? As other
Absolutely.
things all come into our life that weren't there in the past.
Right. Because I'm thinking some of the key memories that I do have with you, girl, that fan that I still got, baby girl.
Yes.
I still got. I'll let the listeners in. Okay, so as Sarah had said, and it's funny because Sarah, when I say I'll be like, oh, my roommate, like at work, just
Hmm.
not even saying my college roommate. I'm just thinking, yeah, y'all
Right.
don't really need to know exactly. But I tell this story a lot. So I like it warm and I
Hmm.
can't sleep in quiet, right? And sweet, sweet Sarah, she does not.
No.
So we
Mm-mm.
made so many compromises, girl. Turn the timer on. Didn't we throw a little something over the TV?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
Turn the time because I just needed till I fall asleep. To this
Have
day,
to,
Sarah, same
yes.
thing. And so there was this fan. No, it wasn't even a fan, girl. It was a heater and a
Hmm.
fan.
Hmm.
And at least 15 years, that heater fan has been rocking with me, but I know you
Wow.
hated it.
Hated it. Hated it.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry. But when I turn it on, sometimes I think of you. I'm like, man, that was money well spent. They don't make stuff like that. I
They
feel
don't
like
make
those
stuff.
little, no, they really don't. Those little
Hmm.
quirks that, like those little
Hmm.
things that, and honestly, this is going to be inappropriate too, but we have conversations about hydration and,
Uh-huh.
the
Yep.
color of urination.
Hmm.
And I
I
think of
still
you
look.
I think of
I
you
still always
sometimes.
check. It's funny. I just talked to my mom the other day, and she was saying like, yeah, it's like I'm having some issues there, or it's darker, and I was like, Mom, you got to check every single day. Like when you're peeing, you got to check. If you're seeing it's darker, then you need to drink some more water. I keep a water
Girl.
with me, but yeah, that gives you a lot of insight on what's going on in your body.
So
Yeah.
those are my fond memories of you. What about yours of me? Oh,
How
Jesus.
much time do we have?
Girl.
There's
You
so
better wrap it
many.
up quick and don't embarrass
There's so
me.
many. I would say number one is your love for guac. So I think like just the fact that like we had in the LLC, to paint a picture, LLC, right? You have your it was the nicer dorms. It was the I wouldn't it was the newest dorms on campus, right?
Yeah,
So
this that's
so in a room you had your bedroom, and then you also had a, what would they call that, a vanity? like a vanity
Yeah.
with the sink and stuff, and then your restroom was shared, but you did have a vanity in your room. So Morgan, you just love to make things, cook things, and one of your favorite things to do is watch the award shows. And you would go all out for them. Everything set up, decked out, ready for the award show. And so one of the fondest memories is just you being on the vanity, cutting up onions and guac, and avocado and everything, making your guacamole with your chips to watch the awards, right? And it was just always so funny to me that like your prep station and getting ready for really your Super Bowl
That was
is
my
what we
Super
called
Bowl.
it, right?
Yeah.
Your Super Bowl. So I think that was also funny. The other thing I thought was really cool, and not to mention names since we've all moved on in life, but just the fact that we both had boyfriends at the time, and our boyfriends were close at the
Yeah.
time, and so we would have them over, and they come over and sit down and chill with us, and it was I think they were both a part of a frat too, like a Christian
Yeah.
frat at that time.
Yeah.
And That was funny because I was going to say, well, both of yours were part of that Christian frat, but I don't know if you know which one I'm referring to.
No,
But
I'm picking up what you're putting
I was
down. We're
referring
gonna
to
just
the
put.
lighter one. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're just gonna leave. No, no, I knew what
but
he was
yeah,
talking
so
about. Yeah.
so we both, we have that, and I think that it was so much fun, just like us in the rooms, our boyfriends with us, and hanging out, watching award shows, and then and yeah, I think those are most fondest memories for me. But also like how studious you were, like you was always on top of your grades in school, and I was too. So it was nice to have a roommate who also prioritized like studying and making sure you were going. And we weren't the same major, right? We didn't have the same classes, but we were both very, we're there for one thing, right? To get our education and, to have some fun. But I liked
Yeah.
having a roommate that was dedicated to that as well.
Absolutely. Love that. See, I didn't mean for you to gas me up, but I feel all warm and fuzzy over here, girl. Thank
Yes.
you. So after we graduated, girl, I two things. It's funny you talk about that
Hmm.
guacamole, because did I just make guacamole yesterday? Yes, I did. And do I still have that? I had a little laptop thing that I would cut the
Hmm.
guacamole, and I still got that. And
Yes.
I'm like, it's
Hmm.
again, I don't make stuff like that. Listen,
15 plus years.
That Walmart back there out of Xenia, baby, you did me
Yes.
right.
Got us
But
right.
that is so funny. And aside, because when it's
Hmm.
on, don't talk to me.
Yes. Yes.
These are the award shows, right? So here comes Sarah. Beyonce wins the best. What was it? Best country album, or was it best album?
Country album, when she wasn't even like noticed, at the CMAs. Like she wasn't even, no one would talk about her. She gets this awards and she wins best album. And her face, I had to call you. I had to
Uh,
call you because it was just, I was crying for her. Like
and what did I
I'm there
say,
with her.
Sarah? What did I say,
Yeah,
Sarah?
you like, now you don't call me during these shows, and I had
It's
to though. I
on.
I had to. It's on.
And I was having my party with my snacks, and you called me
Mm-hmm.
when it was on, but I was like, oh, that's my friend. Like X amount of
Yes.
years later, she already knows, but she already knows I'm watching. So
Yep.
it doesn't even matter. But speaking of that, the phones, technology has really kind of helped
Mm-hmm.
us push this friendship, not push it forward,
Mm-hmm.
but like, keep maintaining it. Like, no, I
Mm-hmm.
don't call you every day, I don't text you every day, but I feel still
Mm-hmm.
connected because of social media and then
Mm-hmm.
hitting your line. Like with me or with your other friends, how are you using technology to kind of keep pushing that friendship forward?
Yeah, I think that we're in a generation where Facebook is big, right? Not so much for the newer generations. They probably are more on TikTok, Snap, what have you. But Facebook was big for us, and so I think that our generation still uses Facebook a lot in order to just stay connected. And I think that's the biggest thing. We're able to stay connected through those platforms, so I don't have to see you every day to know what's going on with your life. When you're posting, seeing stuff, I'm able to do that. And then the other thing is, I think that we're always just a phone call away from each other, right? A phone call, a text away. I think that's really cool about our friendship is when one of us is experiencing something, we can communicate with the other and just tell them what's going on and right there, right? I think that's huge. And the other thing is I travel for work, and so just a few years ago I was traveling, and I was in
Yeah,
your
like
city
around
for an
this
event,
time of two
and
years
so
ago. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
so being able to just say, hey, I'm in your city, let's get together, let's connect, let's do this, right? Seeing your house, going out with, I think we went out with David too, at one
Yep.
one day, right? just being out, now it's crazy, but now I feel like I've been there twice. I've seen you twice because I feel like one
Yeah,
time
you
I was
have.
directly across the street from where your job was. I
Or,
was staying,
yep.
yeah. So I've been there twice. And so the first time I was there, I got to see your house and all that stuff. The second time I was across the street and I got to just hang out with you. I think we went to lunch somewhere. It was really good. But yeah, I think that those things are cool too because I'm able to just reach out to you. I don't think I gave you much notice either. Just hey, I'm in your city, and you're like, hey, I'm downtown working. We can go do something. And I'm like, you're like, what hotel are you? I'm right here. You're like, hey, I'm across the street,
Right
y'all. I'm
there.
right here. Like, who knew that that would be the case, right? So,
Well, Kansas
yeah,
City
I think
is
that's how
big
we
and
get. That's
small.
how we make the space seem smaller, right? The distance
Yeah,
seems shorter.
absolutely. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And I hope you know phone call away, text away. It's automatic.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I know, and I know you do. I know you do. I'm not getting
Yeah.
emotional up on this podcast. Maybe a little bit. I'm just thinking back because a lot of things I remember with you is we would go to church a lot. We would have real long,
Hmm.
deep
Deep
conversations. And I would
conversations.
to this point where I don't really remember what it was all about, but in that moment I was
Hmm.
like, yes. And I'm just thinking back,
Hmm.
when you think about that girl back then, I imagine a lot of it was about relationships. Because
Yeah.
you
Yeah. A
mentioned
lot of it. Yep. We were in
we
the
was
thick
going
of it.
we was going through it.
Yes.
I imagine a lot of it was about relationships. And when you think about that girl meeting
Hmm.
this girl back then, like what would you say to her?
Just like the younger me,
Yeah.
I yeah, I just don't take yourself so seriously, right? Don't be so concerned about what's going to happen in the future and things like that. I think that at the time everything was such a big deal. All the little things that were happening. If your so-called friend was or your boyfriend was like talking to someone else or doing something a little out of the way or doing whatever, it was constant focus on all the small things that really just didn't matter, and I would just tell myself, you know, in 5 years, is this even going to matter, right? Is this even going to be a big deal? And also, I think I would pour more into me and developing who I was going to be as an adult and less time worried about guys, right? I think I would give more time to myself and developing me and building my confidence in who I was. And having fun. I think that guys was a huge part of what made college fun too, right? So I don't think I would take that away, but I definitely think I would shift my focus a little bit.
Yeah. I think I would say to my 15-year-old back years ago self, like, girl, just go outside a little bit more. Just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead and see what that looked like a little bit. Because now I feel like an old lady. Like, oh, you want
Mm-hmm.
to meet somewhere at 9 o'clock p.m. on a Friday?
Right.
Girl, I'm about to be asleep. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have settled into that space, but I didn't need to be, honestly, I don't know if I'd be staying awake at that age, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just kind of going outside a little bit more. And I think back to my college experience, both of us being in a sorority, different sororities, but still having that experience, and then me being in Miss Wilberforce and a campus
Mm-hmm.
queen, and then just like trying at the end to really like try things, being an RA,
Mm-hmm.
because I think, just like
Yep.
a little more of that on the offset would have been great, because then maybe I wouldn't have had
Mm-hmm.
energy to talk about the boys. But you're right. The
Yeah.
collective thing I do remember was faith and the fact that we was real focused on these grades, because you was not gonna mess up.
Yes.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming here for school. I'm not coming here to get an MRS, okay? Like I'm getting
Right.
a BA or something.
Yep.
So I appreciate that for both of us, really, that we were
Mm-hmm.
both really at least minded on the fact that we need to get our education above all
Yeah.
things. Now, between the years that, we haven't been in as close proximity, um, I know I haven't been keeping up as much as I want to, but I know we've both gone through so many different changes in our lives, right? You had mentioned different relationships. And I'm just going to gas you up for a second because, like, your professionalism is chef's kiss. Staying at a job for 11 years, I couldn't, I don't know, friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and when I think of you, I'm like, oh, she got her stuff together. She done got a couple houses. I know, I know
Mm-hmm.
things are moving in the right directions if they're not where they want to. So I just want to commend you on that. I mean, you
Thank
came to school
you.
with a car, so um, it's just when you see yourself transitioning and you think
Hmm.
about how your friends are fitting into it. Like, well, how do your friends, even when you're working and you're mommying, how do
Hmm.
your friends fit into it now?
Yeah, I think you have to be really intentional now, right? Where before it was just a flow, like it was just a flow. Now there's intention on things, right? It just doesn't happen. I Now it's, if I'm having, if I want to have a friend or go somewhere or do something with a friend, then I'm planning for, okay, where's AJ going to be at? What's going on there, right? And am I off work, or do I have a busy day the next day? A cool thing for me is because I travel so much. A lot of our friends from Wilberforce are in different cities and different states, right? So the cool thing is I will travel somewhere and then I'll just connect with who's there, right? During the time that I'm I would say on the road, I fly everywhere, but during the time that I fly somewhere, I don't have my daughter, right? So I have some dedicated time to work, and then from there to, to play a little bit and do things. So I utilize that a lot too. I utilize the time that I'm traveling to see some of my friends that might be out of state. Same with you, right? And then yeah, if I'm home, when I'm home, I really just have to plan out my schedule with work and my daughter. I work from home, so it's nice that I don't have to go into an office, right? And that allows me also to be able to be out a little later sometimes. I mean, I'm never going to be out later than 10 o'clock, but I know I don't have to
See,
get up and go into the office. I can get up and get on my computer and work, and I don't feel like that. It's like when I was used to go into office, I'll be 40 minutes from the office, so I would have to get up super early, and then I'd have to
mm,
get AJ off to where she was going, right? At one point I was in at 4 in the morning when I was in Charlotte, so I would get, AJ had a nanny, so I'd get up, get everything ready, nanny come over, then I'd have to go into the office. I'd be in the office all day, and then I come home, I'm dead tired. There's no time for friendship. So that my schedule looks a lot different and allows for those spaces for friendship, as long as it's planned.
now you had mentioned your daughter AJ a couple of times in
Hmm.
here, and I want to tap into that a little bit. So, because I'm on, you got a little jump start of this, so I'm learning about this because I'm feeling like
Hmm.
right now, like as much as I want to go hang out with friends, I'm just like, but how? Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you
Yep.
nursed, but
Hmm.
I'm still 13 months into this game. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
when you gonna
Yeah.
stop? And it's at the beginning, it really felt like, oh, well, yeah, I could go hang out, but I got a 2 hour time period because I got to go feed the girl,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
or I got to pump
Yep.
one of the two.
Yeah.
And now that the time is getting a little bit longer and I could probably not feel uncomfortable for 3 or 4 or maybe 5 hours,
Hmm.
when did you notice that shift to where you're like, okay, she's 3, she's 4, she's 5.
I can get.
I can
Yeah.
actually have a real friendship now.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that changed. So I'll start by saying AJ was born during COVID, right? So she was born in October of 19. So before COVID hit was when she was born. But when I came back from maternity leave, COVID hit the week after. COVID, when I say hit, I mean like hit the world hard. I think it really started in January, but I came back to work at the end of February. So I took a 4 month maternity leave. And when I got back, the week after COVID had hit, right? And that's when it really started. Everything was shut off. The world was shut off, everything. So I went from having maternity leave where I had like my breastfeeding groups and all this cool stuff to no interaction with anyone for over a year, really, like really almost 2 years. And again, I told you that Asia had a nanny, so she didn't go to daycare. So that was safe for us in the fact she had a nanny, but also isolating. And I nursed for 2 years. I nursed AJ for 2 years. So it was really hard, but I think that I craved it so much because it was pulled away from me, that the moment that I had freedom, that I was able to get back out there and interact with people, I was literally like, get out my way, I'm getting there, I'm going to this restaurant, I'm doing this, right? Hold AJ, I'm about to be out. So I think for me, I instantly just ran at the opportunity to just go to a restaurant, to go to a salon and get my hair done, to get my nails done, to go to get a massage, to like hang out with friends, right? To create friendships. I joined a friends group in Charlotte, and they would have friends meetups. I started doing that because I didn't have a lot of friends in Charlotte, right? My One of my sorority sisters was a roommate of mine, but we had stopped being roommates at the moment that Jamal and I got together, and then we were having AJ. So me and him got a place together. So me and her would get out more and see each other. So I think it was just, I'm sure it was unique, but it was really a lot about, I don't know if that would have been, if I would have gone so aggressively after friendship had COVID not happened, that restricted us
Right.
from those things. But yeah, I really was like, who can hold her? I'm going out. And yeah, I took it as an opportunity to just get some freedom and get out of the house.
Well, congrats on that 2 years of nursing. I don't know if I can go that long because I really want to put on an outfit where I don't have to worry about my boobs being out. That's an aside. I guess
Girl,
I didn't know how long
it
you
was
made it to.
crazy. I think that if
Yeah.
I hadn't have gone, I went out of the country, I went to Dubai. Had I not gone to Dubai, she probably at 5 would still be on the boob because I couldn't get her off. But being away for 2 weeks and coming back, she didn't try, and I just did not let her. Like she didn't initiate, and I just didn't. And so we kept that distance, and she as almost like she had forgot about it. And the first time she got sick, you noticed she was kind of searching a little bit, but I would coddle her and do other ways. And so yeah, I was able to move out of it smoothly, move out of it from going out of the country. But yeah, it was hard. Praying for you whenever you make that change. It is
Thank
very
you.
challenging for baby and for mom.
Yeah, because it's becoming a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're talking about the ways in which we've supported each other, because I even remember you were just checking in on me during my pregnancy, and I won't say
Mm-hmm.
what, but we shared a similar situation in
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy. And I was like, this is reminding me why, A, you need to reach out to people because you're
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
alone in this in circumstances like this. And it's just oftentimes me being in Kansas City, and then a lot of my friends are all over the map, but nobody's really here. So I'm just like, well, I'm just by myself here, and I have a few friends from high school, and then a lot of my friends that are moms are not from here. So then when you started
Mm-hmm.
checking up on me, I was like, well, I'll just tell her what's going on, whoop de whoop, and then you just immediately like, oh, girl, you're gonna be fine. Same me, blah blah blah, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that long-term relationship that I have had with you just
Mm-hmm.
normalized everything. Even if I had known about how long you made it to breastfeeding, which I know now,
Right.
would continue to normalize everything that's going on. And I think that's why
Mm-hmm.
we're not created to be alone, right?
You're right. Right. Yeah,
Whether
we're created to live and be in community. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so having that similar whatever situation it's always good to just have that a person that you could talk with, even if it's just for
Absolutely.
like, even if it's just via text. And so
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. And speaking of the similarities that we do have, our daughters,
Mm-hmm.
um, you got a AJS, I got a CJ. So
Yes.
how has this motherhood thing just brought Miss Sarah to a new girl? I won't say what I said when I found out, but you go ahead and put it in your brain, and yep, you get a giggle. Uh-huh. You remember, right? But
Yep.
how has that changed you as a person?
Girl didn't even
Yep, I
remember the
asked you a
person I
big question.
was. I don't even remember the person I was before I was a mom, right? I mean, I don't even remember her. I vaguely remember having more free time. And I vaguely remember, you're right, right. And I love my naps. I vaguely remember
Oh
being
my
able to
God.
have like naps on Saturdays and being able to kind of do what I wanted, and that's gone. But man, you're a whole new person. I mean, you're a whole new individual, a whole new person when you're a parent, right? And having a daughter, it's like there's so much weight on you because you know that you are like all the things that they're going to experience through life. You know the ways in which they're going to process things. You know how their emotions are going to be and all these things. And you're doing the best you can at trying to make sure that you are supportive and you are helping them regulate. You're helping them understand them. I believe in conscious parenting, so that's how I parent AJ, right? I want her to have agency over her own body. I want her
Mm,
to feel confident in who she is, right? I don't want her to need approval from other people. I want her to
right.
feel like she's doing something. So if she builds something, instead of saying, "Hey, I'm so proud of you," I typically ask her, "Are you proud of you?" Right? I want her to build the confidence saying, "Yeah, I did this. I'm so proud." And then mommy's like, "Yeah, I'm proud too." Right? But just being able to instill that in her, I want her to feel like that she can trust herself, her body, her own mind. So if she's eating, I ask her, "How's your body feel? Are you ready? Are you wanting more food, or are you done eating?" Right? Not telling her when she's done eating or telling her when she's full, right? And the same with her making choices. If it's not going to hurt her, I really let her make her own choices so that she has an idea of what is good for her, right? Because I don't always know what's going on with her, and I don't always know what's good for her. She's going to be able to tell me what's good for her, and I'm helping to guide her as she's younger and she needs help identifying what's good and bad. I'm helping her guide herself, but I'm not there to dictate her or to determine who she's going to be. I'm just there to set some, guide rails and support her as she navigates who she is in this world. So it just changed my entire perspective of like as a person, right? I was extremely controlling before. I was extremely like, this had to be this way and this had to be, girl, child, like having a child changes all that, right? They run the world, not you. So yeah, that's a lot, but yeah.
I think the biggest thing that in this whole 1 year, since my daughter looks so much like me, I kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel like I feel like I see myself in her, and then it's like I, s- not that I'm reliving it, but I'm like living it
Mm-hmm.
through her eyes. So it just
Mm-hmm.
everything kind of feels fresh. Like even
Yeah.
like holidays or new experiences, it all just feels very new. She just had pizza and
Mm-hmm.
gelato here recently, and I was like, oh my God, this is her first pizza. Is anybody recording this? And like obviously,
Mm-hmm.
just her expression when the little non-dairy cheese hit her little tongue and she just took it down. I'm like, oh my God, this is the first. Just experiencing all those first. And I'm sure there's just going to be
Yeah.
more first on top of first that come. That's really what I've loved thus far.
Yeah. 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 You're doing a great job. I mean, I'm just watching you parent and forging your own path. I think is so cool. Even understanding how to do everything being a vegan and being able to share that with your daughter, right? And figuring out, I'm sure that there were challenges in learning how to do that for, with children's food versus your food. I'm sure that's a different animal a little
Yeah.
bit, right? So being able
Yeah.
to learn that a little bit, also being mindful allergies and different can that come. So it's really cool to see you figuring that out and being able to share part of your life with your daughter.
So the veganism part, I haven't even all the way thought about it because she's just now kind of eating real, like really good, you know,
Mm.
like, a lot of it was just breastfeeding, but now she's really getting into solids. So I hadn't even thought about that. But thank you. Well, thank you for your kind words. You as well. The yoga thing that you've been doing, right now, Shalay is not able to do like obviously yoga, but I still take her to
Mm-hmm.
mommy and me classes. So that's been really fun. Just see her
Yeah.
interacting with folks and
Mm-hmm.
I like it when I can put her up on my legs and like fly her up or do the little baby
Uh-huh.
rock thing. So I feel like everything you've been saying about the autonomy and the cognitive parenting, we're gonna have to conversate about that offline.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
love that for you. The shared experiences that I was talking about. Just as I've heard people say, like the biggest way you can know who your friends are is who shows up for you. It's like marriages and losses. And it's ironic and kind of, I know it like my marriage is the same time you did with a major loss. And I always think like, gosh, this probably reminds her of stuff. And just knowing like I felt like I couldn't really be there for you in the way I wanted to because this whole life changed. But first of all, can you relate with that? Like, kind of just being able to say, "Oh, these are who are really trying to show up in my life after these major events happen." Even parenthood too could also
Yeah.
be a major event that happens. That really shifts how your friendship is. Have you felt that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that in times of great loss, man, you really do get closer to your friends, right? You know who your friends are and who are there for you. And everybody, and it looks different for every person. I think that it's funny you said that you really weren't able to be there as much as you wanted because you were getting married at the same time. I can remember from that experience was how much grace you extended to me, who was planning to be at your wedding, right? And I felt like I felt like a bad friend, right? Because it was so close to the wedding, and I couldn't be there, right? And I planned to be there and everything, and I just remember thinking, the what you could do for me was extend me some grace in that moment, and I felt like that's what you did, right? And then beyond that, you checked on me constantly, made sure I was okay. And it was a really hard loss, like I
Yeah,
lost my little sister, and losing a sibling. Man, it's just, I, it's
I can't even put it
devastating. And
into words.
yeah, and I had some loss of of like in-laws or like people that are close to you and almost in the sibling capacity, right? But yeah, it just yeah that was hard, and I just that's all I remember, Morgan, of that experience, which was, there's so much of that that I don't remember of the time, right? It was really heavy. It probably, my body probably has, our mind has probably chosen to forget some of it, and some of it honestly was just a blur. But I just
Right.
remember feeling so bad about the fact that I was supposed to be there, and the fact that you extended me so much grace in that time, to just be able to not to, just to not be there, right? And to be able to just kind of cope with the new normal for our life, which was life without my sister there.
I'm glad our cameras are off now. Because you're not going to get me to cry on this podcast. You're not going to get me to cry on this podcast. What I'm not going to do. Thank you for saying that. Because yes, of course. Of course. Like I was just when you said that, I'm like, girl, duh, bye. What do you? Like this is way
Mm-hmm.
more, this is small. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she could be there at the 10 year. And I think we're on 7,
Mm-hmm.
so you got 3 more years to get it together, girl.
Girl.
And I don't know where it'll be. I hope not in Missouri, but
Mm-hmm.
I know for me when I got married, that's when I felt my friends kind of decline because it felt like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I want to hang out with David. I don't know if I necessarily want to go dancing or clubbing or the equivalent of it, I guess, and sit at a lounge or do a brunch. I want to be with my man. And so I feel like those big life shifts, whether it be marriage, having kids, or the loss of someone, yeah, they really do make or break a friendship. And I'm so glad that you felt that way, and that it wasn't a good experience, but like it didn't break a bridge because I did lose a
Yes.
friend during my wedding because
Yeah.
of some nonsense. And so,
Mm-hmm.
well, we're gonna liven this up. So as we mentioned before, like some of our shared passions, music. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like just a couple of days ago, girl, I sent you a song. What was that Jessica? What's her name? Jess? I don't know. But anyways, I do that. I do that frequently, especially when it's like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
these lyrics are giving.
Yes, the lyrics
So
used to get us every time.
yes, I'm trying to think of what was the oh, 'cause, I used to play out that Gravity by Sarah
Oh
Bareilles.
my gosh. Sarah Bareilles. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh man, something always brings me back to you.
Yes.
It
That song
never
is
takes
so
too
deep
long.
still. Yes.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely yeah. So that would be one of the specific. I'm trying to think of another one that like really.
I like Gibberish.
Oh yeah,
It's another,
who sings
like,
that?
I feel like we connected on who's that? Ryan Leslie.
Yes, Ryan Leslie. That's
Yeah,
it.
and that was mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Man, we had so many. I wish I could remember all my college playlists.
I
Man, there's
know.
some
I
really
almost
good
like want
songs in
to see
there.
if I can. I my computer got stolen at some point, so like a
Oh
lot of
my
that.
gosh.
I know I have the hard drive, but like a lot of that was stolen from me. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely along the lines of R&B, but not always, because
Yes.
sometimes those
Yeah,
pop
not
songs
always. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
would really be getting to us. I'm just thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, yeah, I can't remember, but in present day, it's been like Beyonce or bust. And then like you said,
Yes.
a little bit of like Insecure, Issa Rae type
Mm-hmm.
vibes, where it's just like that awkward black girl kind of energy.
Yes.
Um, it's
Oh,
just
Priscilla Renee, who, how did I
oh
not know?
God, how did you not know? She
How did I
she
not know?
sounds country when she sings. Like
Girl, I did
like
not know she
made for
changed her
me.
whole persona. When I found that out, I think you were the first person I text, like, girl, did you know? You like, you late. How?
Because
How
you
did
were
I?
she like made for me. She sounds like she's yodeling in that part. Like nobody knows me quite like you.
Yeah.
Like she's low key yodeling a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how you didn't put two and two
Mm-hmm.
together, but
You're
I'm
right.
not
You're
going to judge
right.
you.
If
No,
you
she
put, if
definitely.
you you, you can still hear.
Yeah, you can hear the country twang. It's hard to take that out of you. Like you can't. You could take the country out of the girl, but you can't take it out of her voice. Ah, funny. Well, Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
let's just
Yeah.
round
She's still the
this
same girl.
this absolutely. So let's just round this chat up with a quick game of marry, date, or dump. And I'm just gonna make it up off on the top, like off the top of my head, because of course I'm ill prepared. Be petty, and I know the answer to this one. Okay, like a hot summer night, a cold winter's day, or a rainy day.
Ooh. Ooh. It's crazy. So I prefer um hmm Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put summer for Mary, even though I don't like heat, but I
I
love the
know.
summertime. And then
Exactly.
winter is going to be my date because winter is going to be my date because I love the cold of winter, but I don't like driving in it, don't like ice, don't like snow, but I love the coldness. I love running in the cold. Like in the winter time is my favorite time to do long runs. I know most people can't stand them, and that's my favorite. So yeah, so summer's still going to be my number one just because I love all the things you can do in the summertime that you can't necessarily do in the winter. And then winter would be my Mary, and then dump. Oh yeah, spring all day long. I love fall, but out of my four seasons, spring is my least favorite. And I know that's where everything grows and all that stuff. But I don't like the rain. I really
Oh
don't. I don't
man.
like rain. I don't like dreary. I feel like that it keeps me from being able to get out because I don't want to be wet ever. So so yeah, spring is always going to be my.
Oh my
I
God.
could always live without spring. I couldn't live without the growth that it creates, but I could live without the season.
See, I'm glad that you got existential and realized that you need the rain. The garden needs the water to
Yes.
grow, you know. I love the
Mm-hmm.
rain. Well, I've learned so much about you in this short period of time sharing this moment with you. And I thank you for chatting with me. And sorry listeners for the little bit of technical difficulties we had, but not to worry. We're going on to the positive tip. Sarah, you stay here. The positive tip. So I am recording this conversation, or I'm sorry, this conversation that we're having right now, after I had the chance to meet with a long term friend of mine, or a long distance friend of mine. And after reliving the conversation I had with Sarah, it all comes back to me. The biggest thing that I know to be true with friendships beyond showing up is you have to continue to water that plant. The more you continue to water that plant, it'll make you not feel alone, first of all. Because we've had this conversation about the loneliness epidemic as we started this series. And then we're kind of understanding that yes, you do need to get out there and commune with people like-minded or whatever the case be. But we also understand the transitions that could occur when we talk to Miss Kelly about the natural ebbs and flows of how things separate and move back together. But always remember that even if that person is not in the same zip code or time zone, if you allow them to show up for you, hopefully, most likely, they will show up for you. They will be there for you. And even if they're gone for 3 months and they float back in your life, all is well because they're there for you. And that is my biggest takeaway for you. If you are a friend to someone that doesn't live in your zip code, time zone, whatever, show up for them. Like, matter of fact, text them this podcast. Be like, hey, I was listening to this. I was thinking about you. Text them this podcast. Tell them you're thinking of them. And tell them to, subscribe, all the good things. But yeah, like, show up for your friends. Be a friend. Continue to pour and cultivate those friendships that you do have. And what you water will grow. I mean, I learned that by being a gardener. So that is the positive tip. And I hope it's all a compilation. If you want to go back and listen to any of these podcast episodes on your favorite podcast streaming place, or check me out on YouTube, I'm cute or whatever, we would love that. I would love that. And until next time, guys, while we take this summer siesta and we come back refreshed in the fall with more fun things, you can follow me on Instagram, the Tick of the Talk. So I'll be on all those platforms posting, keep kikiing and having a good old fun. And I'm quite a bit because I'm trying to post more. And then you'll probably see reruns of this on your, hopefully you'll see reruns of this on social media as well, because I am posting clips. We got great content. We've got so many episodes. We as the collective, it's just me, but I've got so many episodes for you to enjoy. If you're in a stage of being newly married, or if you're a new mommy, check back that series. Or if you're trying to figure out how to plan a wedding, we've got content over that. please feel free to DM me, Young Black Mrs. Reach out, say hi. I'm here to chat with you and hear what you want to hear next from me when I come back in the fall. I don't know why I keep saying we. It's just me, guys. Thank you so much for supporting this independent podcast. I truly appreciate you. I see you. I see those folks that are listening to you, and I appreciate you. For watching, I appreciate you. Share if you gain value or you just enjoy the shenanigans that happens in this room. I appreciate you so much. And until the fall, friends, peace. Play my outro music.